welcome. How are all of you feeling today?
Amazing.
Good, excited? Yeah? Okay, I have a question. Who here is from Greece? Okay. Who here is from Athens? There are some people from Greece. Great. And Athens. For who is this the first time you're in Greece? Whoa, a lot of people. First time in Athens, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say one small tip for anyone who is staying at the Marriott, because I know a lot of people booked, there's a hotel right next door. Be sure to go into the center to get the true Athens experience. After this, for the next few days, be sure to check it out, because I think it's a very special city. And it's very cool to get to do this event here with you all. Yeah, we started scouting this back in November. Agni and I came to town, and the city has, I was here 12 years ago, and it was a very different city. Right now, it feels like a city that there's a lot of excitement, entrepreneurial spirit, and I think it's really great to get a chance to do this event here. So, you might know me. I'm the host of something called the Zero Knowledge Podcast. We've been running a weekly show since 2018. This event is produced by the podcast. We are at 318 episodes and counting. Yeah. I think episode 319 comes out today with Jordi Bailena. So it's very cool. We have a wonderful team that produced the podcast. So we have Rachel, the producer, Henrik, and Jonas, the editors, Tanya, who you hear doing the ad. She's also going to be hosting this stage with Rachel today, and myself. We also have phenomenal co-hosts that you might be familiar with, Tarun, Guillermo, Kobe, and Nico. I'm very excited that two of my co-hosts are here today, Kobe and Nico. So far, these co-hosts have not been in the same room at the same time yet, but I'm on a mission to make it happen. Maybe at the next summit, we'll see. So I always use this time also to share a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes. Here are some of our top episodes. There's two new additions to the list this time around, which are Where ZK and ML Intersect, and Algorithmic Game Theory and Proof of Stake Tokenomics with Noam Neeson. These two episodes, the tokenomics one came out just a month or two ago, but it's doing really well. So here's some of our top episodes. I don't know if you've listened to these. The Zero Knowledge Podcast has a YouTube channel, and actually the videos from this event will be over there. But there you can also find things like the ZK Study Club videos, other events that we've done, yeah, kind of all sorts of stuff. We release the episodes there, but there's no video associated with it, so yeah. Also, I don't know if you've seen, but we have a jobs board called the ZK Jobs Board. We currently have 36 jobs listed there. A lot of the sponsors that are here today actually posted their jobs there as well. If you're looking for a new opportunity, please do check this out. Yeah, there's a lot of new jobs right now, so it's very, very fresh. Oh, also, if you're a team who's looking to hire, this is open, so you're also able to post your job if you'd like to. If you want to find out more about the podcast in general, it's zeroknowledge.fm, or you can follow us on Twitter, zeroknowledgefm. We also have a link tree, just Zero Knowledge. There you can find lots of links. And actually, I'm going to be talking about one of the links there, which is a different project, which is called ZK Hack. You've probably heard me talk about this before, but I want to highlight it for this audience. It's a different project from the podcast. It's a different company. But the ZK Hack is basically a hub for learning about ZK. Where the podcast, I get to go very broad. I kind of just I get to interview people I'm interested in. I kind of go in various directions, usually talking about ZK, but not always. ZK Hack is like the place where if you're trying to learn ZK, if you're trying to learn the basics, learn to build with it, that's a really good place to check out. And there's basically two hubs to ZK Hack. We have the website, off which you can find a lot of the channels and resources. And then we also have the Discord, where we host study groups, and whenever we have events, we'll be over there. That's the website, zkhack.dev, if you haven't checked it out. And this is a QR code for the Discord. Great technical conversations. We also put over there learning material, new research. Yeah, check it out. And I want to just mention the events side of things for ZK Hack, because in January we did the ZK Hack Online. I don't know if you guys remember, there was like a puzzle hacking competition, multi-week event. We do those once a year. We also had a job fair as part of that, and we did the ZK Hack IRL hackathons last year. I don't know if any of you, did anyone go to ZK Hack Lisbon? Oh yeah, a couple of you, so you know it. Last time we did this with the summit, so we actually did a hack, and then a speaker dinner, and then the summit, and then an after party, and realized it was a little too much for us as a team, so now we split them up. We did ZK Hack Istanbul. Who was there? Oh, also a couple of you, awesome. The reason I'm telling you all this is I'm very excited to say that we have another hackathon coming up, which is ZK Hack Krakow, May 17th through 19th. This is the place if you want to start building, if you want to start exploring, like using some of the ZK tools. We have phenomenal partners for this event. You should definitely come join us. We have an amazing venue as well. We found a vodka factory in Krakow to host our hackathon. It's really nice. Like it's very, very newly renovated. There's actually like restaurants and cafes nearby and a gym, which is very unusual for a hackathon, but a swimming pool. Anyway, be sure to check it out. You can actually apply at zkkrakow.com already. And if you do that, what you can do at ZK Hack is you get to learn about ZK tools, you get to meet collaborators, and win prizes. I also want to make a quick note that links it to the ZKSummit. There's at least 2 speakers at this summit who actually we got to know through some of the earlier ZK hacks. So they were hackers. You know, in one case, they actually turned their hack into a project, into an actual company. So really do consider this if you're thinking of jumping in. All right, let's talk about the summit. That's what you're here for. The zkSummit has been around since March 2018. It's been hosted in Berlin 4 times. SF, it's been online during COVID. We were in Amsterdam, Lisbon, London, and now Athens. I feel like this is a place where we've gotten a chance to host speakers with who are presenting revolutionary ZK systems and protocols. I think Planck was first presented at zkSummit 4. So these kinds of works do come out of this event, and we definitely try to keep that going with our program. And I think we are actually doing that again. Here's a few highlights from past summits. Was anyone at ZK10? Do you saw this? This is not a weapon, it's a t-shirt gun. Maybe it's a bit of a weapon. But anyway, that was ZK10. We have, ZK5, ZK6, ZK3, ZK4, ZK8 for these 3, ZK9, ZK2, ZK7. So just a sampling. Actually, let me ask though, who has been at a previous summit? All right, a lot of you. Well, I hope you'll continue to join us for these. Okay, we're here at this wonderful venue, and I'm gonna try to pronounce this. What is it? Yevgenidis. Yeah, Yevgenidis. I didn't quite get it, right? Wait, Yevgenidis? Okay, sorry. Anyway, Foundation. What a great venue. This is the old planetarium, this building, and right next door, as you probably noticed, is the new planetarium. Yeah. This room itself, I don't know if you all noticed, but there are actually these boxes up here that you can also sit up in if you're on the second floor. Actually, I'll maybe tell you this now. This is a very interesting venue because next to some of your seats, there's microphones. So every 4th seat, there's a microphone. So during the talks, these are going to be off, but during the Q&A, we're going to try to use those to actually just take questions. We've never had a venue quite like this, and it's quite cool. Yeah. Just to give you a sense for the space, you're currently in the main stage. The side stage is on this floor. The workshop is also on this floor. We have our breakout upstairs on the 2nd floor, and up there we also have a co-working and networking area. There should be maps around the space. Yeah, as mentioned, we're in the main stage. Explore this space. There's actually a lot of space, and do check out the co-working and chill-out area upstairs because that's where you get the remnants of the old planetarium. It's quite neat. Yeah. So this is the program. I think you all have this on your lanyard, so I won't go through it in too much detail. Just one quick note. Unfortunately, one of our speakers at 3:30 on the side stage Misha from NIL was not able to make it, so that is actually not a talk that's going to be happening. But all of our other speakers are here and speaking. Oh, and also I think Ventali has a colleague speaking instead of her. As mentioned, all stages are being recorded, and they will all be on the Zero Knowledge Podcast YouTube channel. This is the Wi-Fi. It's open, and I think it's the one that's open, so it should be quite easy. There's QR codes around the venue. So now I want to invite. Oh, there you are. I want to invite Vivek here to talk about these really cool NFC cards that you may see are in the pouches with your program.
Hi, I'm Vivek. I lead cryptography work at a design lab called Cursive. We're focused on giving meaningful signed data to people to make ZK proofs on top of, do FHE. In this case, for this event, what we've tried to give attendees is proofs of meeting each other, which you can get by tapping other people's badges. You can also share your social information that way. And also checking into different talks. There's cards outside of this door and outside of all the different doors for the different rooms, so you can get details and slides from doing that. With these signatures, you can make proofs about your event experience to share on Twitter, whether it be the number of people you met, talks you attended, including a fun use of Nova folding proofs to summarize your entire event experience. You can also use some 2PC FHE stuff to basically see what you have in common with someone else as a way to connect and find something to talk about. Try it out. Thank you.
How do they do it exactly? Maybe just to demonstrate. Here's.
There's an NFC card here. You can leave it inside your lanyard. There's an NFC card in your lanyard. You can leave it inside. If you have an iPhone, you want to tap the top of your iPhone to this card. It might take 1 or 2 tries, like you kind of tap and then try again. If you have an Android, you usually have to turn on your phone and then tap the center of your Android against it. You'll be able to set up socials there, and then from there you can start tapping other people and tapping badges outside the talks. Thanks.
Very cool. Yeah, this is the first time we're doing something like this, but when I heard about it from the team, I thought it was like a good spot to experiment. I guess if they want to find more, they can also come find you. You're over at reception or around.
I'll be registration.
Great. So yeah, if you want to find out more about what's actually happening under the hood, I guess they should talk to you. I have one more exciting piece of housekeeping that I want to share, which is, as mentioned, we're in a planetarium. This is the old planetarium, but right next door there's a new planetarium, and we thought it would be really cool to buy it out for $7.15 tonight. It's not big enough to host everyone who is here. I think there's going to be about 500 people here today, and I think there's about 260 seats. If you are into it, if you love planetarium shows and you really want to join it, go get a ticket at reception, but really only get a ticket if you are planning on going, because as mentioned, they're limited and they're going to be first come, first serve, and one per person, so you're not going to be collecting for your whole crew. But yeah, we just thought, like, since we're here, and we checked it out when we were visiting, it looks pretty cool. It's like a very modern planetarium. So yeah, if anyone likes stars and stuff. Cool. All right, so I want to say a big thank you to the zkSummit team. So Rachel was doing all of the attendee management and speaker management, Agni doing all of the logistics and lots of the sponsor management, and myself, I would say we're the core team. I love this team. I was just telling Agni this, that when I couldn't sleep last night, getting so excited for this event, I was just like, I love my team. Just to anyway. We've now done 4 or 5 together as this group, and it's such a fun experience. And yeah, we're really excited that you're all here. I hope you also I hope you also say thank you to this team for putting it together. There's other team members, though. Yeah, there's Henrik on AV, who's also the podcast editor. He's the AV consultant, and he's going to be the host on one of the stages. And for this time, we had a programming committee. Nico, Philip, and Kobe, and I put together the program. So yeah, thanks to the whole team. Yeah. We we also have these awesome MCs for every stage. So on this stage, we have Tanya and Rachel. On the side stage, we have Gaylord and Henrik. On the breakout, we have Philip and Ariel joining us for the first time as a host of a stage. Thank you. And we have Andy and Quentin over on the workshop room. So these are your friendly MCs. If you're a speaker, be sure to get kind of connected to the hosts that are hosting your stage so you know what to do. They're also going to be helping with questions and everything. So now I want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, and especially zkSync, our platinum sponsor. This is the first time, yeah, let's give a big hand. This is the first time that zkSync sponsors as a platinum sponsor. These events are very, very reliant on sponsors coming through, and we just want to say a massive thank you for kind of joining us for this one as a top sponsor. They have a very large booth, so please do talk to the team, and actually they're going to be giving a short talk right after this as well. For our gold sponsors for this edition, we have Polygon, RiskZero, Web3 Foundation, and the ZK Validator. These sponsors, not all, but some of them are also showcasing, or they have booths as well. A lot of these teams are also hiring, so be sure to go find folks from these groups and say hi if you're looking for a job. Silver sponsors for this edition, we have Anoma, Aztec, Fenbushi Capital, Lambda Class, Avail, Celestia, Polychain, Starkware, and Wormhole. Thank you to the silver sponsors for joining us this time. And community sponsors, we have Brevis, Espresso, Fuel, Gevalot, Ingonyama, Moonsong Labs, Nebra, O1 Labs, Lagrange, and Snarkify. Thank you to all of these sponsors for joining us. A lot of them repeat sponsors. We really can't do this without you. Let's give a hand. Yeah. So, every time we do a summit, we have an application form. And the last two were getting really deep in the weeds, and kinda very, very much for those only working deeply in ZK. We decided for this one to kind of pull it back a little and go for a more classic term. And so we asked you on the form, how would you explain a nullifier to a friend? And we got some great answers from all of you, and we've selected a few of them, as we do. So this time around, how would you explain a nullifier to a friend? A nullifier is a one-time use token to prevent double spending. A nullifier is like a stamp that marks information as used, ensuring it can be used again. It's handy for preventing the reuse of things like digital cash and voting tokens. ChatGPT, explain a nullifier in the context of zero knowledge in a concise way. We knew, we know. I mean, this was the most honest of these answers, but we also know some people just put that in ChatGPT. How would you explain a nullifier to a friend? It's a unique value associated to a spendable note that prevents double spending. Alternatively, the key to solving ZK hack 4, puzzle 1. And anyone who's done any of those puzzles know we play with a lot of this stuff. In layman terms, I describe it as a user getting a gift certificate with a unique code, and when they spend that certificate, that code gets published and authorizes the spend transaction and can no longer be used again. Someone just posted Nico's ZK jargon decoder link for nullifier. Also a good way to find out what a nullifier is. It's a secret, it's a secret of a secret, which if used will erase the underlying secret and won't let anyone else know which underlying secret was erased. Most times using secret in an answer. How would you explain a nullifier to a friend? That's a 101 on how to lose friends in under 60 seconds. It's more or less like a ticket for a concert. Once it gets validated, you cannot use it twice. We actually got a lot of answers that had like concert tickets as the example. It's like a ticket that marks another ticket as used. Nullifiers are like the secret message from a spy movie that self-destruct after the agent plays them once. A nullifier is something you can learn about by attending zkSummit. Ah, very good. I will say a nullifier might be better learned at ZK Hack, the hub for learning. This event in particular does tend to showcase the most kind of advanced, latest work, but we are so happy that this is a place of education, and if people are just learning about this stuff, welcome. We are super happy to have you here. Cool, okay. ZK, if you want to tweet, do stuff like that, send pictures around. zkSummit11 is the hashtag, or ZK11, that's our Twitter. This is There are people here who are quite privacy conscious. I think what we do ask is like, try not to take photos of people's faces unless they're cool with that. But if you want pictures of crowds from the back, and definitely speakers, feel free to share those. All right, so I think now I'd like to invite Lumi to the stage, yes, to share a little bit about zkSync. There you go. And ZK as the end game.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to your biannual ZK Church here today with Zero Knowledge podcast. So today I'd like to talk to you about how ZK community is actually the end game. And first, a little bit about us. I work at Matter Labs. My name is Daniel Lumi. I'm the senior product manager of ZK Stack. We are the inventors of zkSync, and we are one of the core developers now. So zkSync is the #1 generalized ZK blockchain in use today. It's proven with over 40 million transactions. It's scalable. It does about 200 TPS right now, depending on transaction complexity, with an order of magnitude more coming soon. It has, with Validium, we'll have lower transaction fees than any of the Alt-L1s without having to dump a bunch on the community. And as a layer 2, we're secured by ZK and Ethereum. So 200 TPS or order of magnitudes might sound like a lot. It's not. Like even an order of magnitude more is nowhere near the scalability we need for mass market adoption. So we started working from the beginning on something called the hyperchain. And with ZK Stack, you can essentially easily boot up new instances of L2s that are sovereign and customizable. And the key point of that is they're all connected with zero-knowledge proofs. Like we can enable interoperability between all of these different shards, which kind of creates this massively scalable supercomputer. We can get to millions of transactions per second without making compromises on security. And it's essentially the hope for the UX is that it'll just be usable. You can have your funds on one chain, use any application on any other chain, and just not really worry about it. And the cool thing of zero-knowledge proofs is you can make proofs of every single one of those different shards, and you can verify them on Ethereum. And in the future with Ethereum, you'll also be able to make a proof of Ethereum and then verify that on any device, right? Making essentially Ethereum completely trustless. And so we're trying to make limitlessly scalable blockchain that is cheap at any arbitrary scale. And the key point of this is there's no compromises. This is blockchain as it should be. Like, no compromises. Don't fuck over your community. This is the point of blockchain. Cross-chain isn't safe. And blockchains kind of have to deal with this dilemma. Yes, I said dilemma, not trilemma, before you all jump on me. Essentially, you have to balance scalability with sovereignty and decentralization. So the more scalable you want your blockchain to become, the less blockchain-like it becomes. You essentially become AWS at some point. And the key thing that makes this not compromising on those values is essentially zero-knowledge proofs. And if you think of what are the principles of ZK? What are the principles of zero-knowledge proofs? It's so you can trustlessly verify any arbitrary computation without actually having to do it yourself, right? It gives you sovereignty to actually trust your information. It gives you security from that. It lets you build private blockchains and actually private transactions. And it's accessible to anyone, either for making a proof or actually verifying it. And if you think about this for a moment, ZK principles are the same as crypto values, right? Okay, minus privacy, we're still working on that. Hopefully we actually enable that for the community. But it's the same thing. It's trustless, sovereign, it's secure for all the users, and it's accessible by anyone that wants to use it. And we kind of use this to create something called ZK Credo. This is our manifestation. Okay, you get my point. It's required reading by everyone in Matter Labs. This is not a marketing thing. We live, breathe, sleep these values. And we want to be able to enable this for the whole community because this is the point of blockchain. And if you hear the conversations that I have with for ZK Stack and these hyperchains, we're talking to banks, central banks, like massive media franchises, multinational corporations, and they're starting to reach out to us because turns out we're really the only option for scalable ZK right now, or blockchain. So mainstream is super exciting, but this is where it gets dangerous. Like, this is it. This is the point where we need to actually step into action and protect the system. And similar to like the cypherpunks creating the internet, they thought they're gonna enable like this unprecedented liberty and freedom for the users. And part of that's true, but the reality is they created kind of a dystopia. There's mass surveillance now. There's like, you are for sale in every way. And there are so many bad things that was enabled by that too. Blockchain will be hijacked too. Like, let's not be ignorant about it. This is gonna happen. Even if it's hijacked, we'll enable some nice, cool new things that actually restore liberty, but we have to design the system around the fact that it will be hijacked. And this is where collective action is so important. Like, if we want to protect this system, we have to be intellectually honest with ourselves, with each other. Like, we have to build guardrails to protect against hijacking, and we have to assume that it will be, right? You can't succumb to pressures, like whether it comes to marketing, like marketing something like ZK cross-chain is trust minimized or trust less. It's just bullshit, right? Like, don't succumb to pressures when you're raising money through venture capitalists. Like, we are trying to embody these values into the community. It's our responsibility to protect the values we believe in, that we want to build into this. To protect the users so they can't make bad decisions. To protect our governance systems. Again, like, one token, one vote is not a good system. Like, that's really easy to hijack. We have to protect the governance of these. We have to work together to try to instill these values. We have to call out the bullshit if we cannot do that. Like, we have to be realistic with ourselves so we can build a better system. And if we work together, like all of us here, we can actually build something that maybe adds actual individual like liberty and justice and freedom to our users. zkSummit is the perfect place to talk about this. Like these are the grounding principles of ZK. This is like, ZK will literally be the way that we make blockchain scalable. ZK is the endgame, is not a marketing message for us. And again, make sure to attend your biannual church. It's really cool. I never miss these. Again, everything we build at Matter Lab is trying to scale Ethereum values and principles. Everything we build is open source forever, free to use forever. No one can ever stop you from deploying it, bridging your funds in and out of hyperchain. It has to be permissionless. And we want to be the home of ZK. Like, we've spent many years building actually scalable technologies, so now we're getting to the point that we're ready to onboard applications. And ZK is the end game, genuinely. This is it. This is how we do it.
Thank you so much for that intro, and a wonderful setting for the day as well. Yeah, I'm just going to do one last quick mention of the hashtags if you're all curious. And actually, just so you know, right now, all three, I don't have it, oh, here. All 4 stages are opening up starting right now. So we will be having Justin on this stage. We have Oana on the side stage. Breakout is Tushar, and we have our workshops starting. So if you want to start sort of shuffling around, please feel free. I'll do a full intro to Justin shortly. And just a quick reminder to the builders out there, don't forget, ZK Hack Krakow. Yeah. That's the wrap on the intro. Thanks, everybody.